And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence. With me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the beautiful studios of Freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com, here at the farm, where we're getting ready, because I have absolutely no faith in the system. Well, we're talking about the system, and that's one thing, I'm glad we got to get kind of I tell you, Brad, you and I have been doing this for a long time, and the focus that you and I always come back to, are we going to be able to rely upon the electoral process as a meaningful, peaceful, representative method of us protecting our rights while expressing who we want to have represent the protection of those rights in this constitutional republic? And the Democratic Party is just selecting the people who go to the republic to be bound down by the Constitution. That's my opinion. But the thing is that in the past, it was always, there's no election. You guys, a bunch of crazy people. And I know you on the front lines going around improving it over and over and over. Just how bad it is. Is it getting better?
Yes and no. Here's how it's getting better. It's getting better every time something like this happens. Something like what we saw in Kentucky, where you got, top election officials thrown in jail for more than 150 years. Every time we have a question about this disaster, this mess that is going on in the election up in Wisconsin in the Supreme Court election. And people really get to see how their election system works, or in these cases, does not. Every time that happens, I believe we get more and more people interested in overseeing their own elections, and that ultimately is the key to a successful election. When people demand their right to oversee their own elections, to demand their right to self-governance, to demand that their elections be transparent so that we, the people, can oversee them. So every time we have a situation like this, we get more and more election integrity advocates out there who understand the system, who understand the challenges, who understand what the fight is. And that, in turn, I think, does make things better. There's going to be no silver bullet here, unfortunately. We can't just go out and, declare a transparent election system to happen tomorrow. So we're going to head into 2012, and yes, we are going to have a lot of problems with our election system. We're going to have a lot of people challenging it, crying foul. In many cases, they'll be correct to do so. In other cases, they won't be. But, if you can't oversee your own system, you can't have faith in it. You can't have trust in it. And you use the word, are we going to have faith in our system? Our system is not built on faith. It's not built on trust. It's built on checks and balances. So our system is only as good as we are able to oversee it and find out if it is good. Does that make sense?
Well, the first thing they do is they always want to make it a national solution. We got problems. We got right here in River City. So we're going to have a federal re-rule you top down, these guys do whatever, and here comes the Help America Vote Act. Well, right off the bat, when they collected, I knew we were done. It's over. It's done. They are not going to allow individual small communities to be able to do what's needed in order to be able to have their own elections, because it used to be down to even city municipalities would count their own ballots and do it on paper. Then it was electronically. Then it was done by the county would come in with their computers and go into the small cities and they'll do it for them. Then it was sent to the counties for them to do it. Now it's getting more and more done by the state and federal. The intent was, I knew this back in the early 90s. The plan was always to collectivize the counting of these votes, because when you're dealing with trillions of dollars, the ability to have the people in there that control those purse strings is worth a boatload of money.
All right, well, here's where we're going to diverge, you and I, because if that was the attempt to collectivize that effort, they did not do it.
They're not done. They're not done.
Well, you know what? In one sense, I hope they are not done, because what you're talking about, we've got, since we have this decentralized election system in this country, you've got I think it's over 4,000 different jurisdictions. We're talking about, counties, each of whom gets to essentially choose their own way to run their elections. Now, in one sense, I'm all in favor of that. In another sense, I've seen how that works, how that practically works, or in this case, doesn't actually work. And for us to have to go around, by us I mean us election integrity folks, to have to go around to all 4,000 plus counties in this nation and insist, for example, that they cannot use touchscreen voting machines, which are 100% unverifiable, to insist that each one of them, can no longer use optical scan systems, since we can't see how those optical scan systems tally our votes. For us to have to do that is a fight that will never be won. However, if standards are set at the federal level, I believe that we can get back to a system, or I don't even want to say get back to a system, get to a system that will allow we, the people, in every jurisdiction across the country to actually be able to oversee our own election.
Okay. This is where Brad and I philosophically, part ways, and it's obvious. And this is it right here. So, Brad, bear with me. Here's my spiel.
Mm-hmm.
When you collectivize and you have a top-down, we got it, you don't allow a local fix. I mean, it's not. Let me give you an example. Have it when they come in, they say, okay, it has to be done this way. Oh. And we're giving you billions of dollars for these machines that are made and sold by, let me see, our friend right over here, Mr. Diebold. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That was, and you know the history on these guys and so on. So what happens? Federally centralized, collectivized, our tax money goes to enslave us in exactly the method by which they wrote the legislation to do so. There is a roadmap. It has equipment. It has people. It has their overseers. It has all the stuff that you're talking about that allowed this to happen. So then you go, all right. We want to go to just paper. Give me pencil, man. Pencil and paper, let's rock and roll. Well, where's the incentive for people to do that? It has to be done locally. You know what? I'd like to have it accurate. I would like to be able to do it and oversee locally myself. Screw Washington. Screw the Republicans and Democrat Party. Screw it. No. The whole system is meant to collectivize it under the control of someone like Karl Rove. That is exactly what's going on. It's what's happened, Brad.
Let me try to help you out here, because I know it's easy to
Very
fall back.
Easy.
I know it's easy to fall back on easy trigger words like the federal government is trying to enslave us, and I realize
they're not.
And I realize that Ron Paul and Rand, love to use that word, and a lot of libertarians, they love to enslave us. These are about principles. These are about our founding constitutional principles. These are about our ability to have government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Not directed from Washington, D.C.
Hang on. To have the self-governance that was envisioned by the founders, where that, yes, your system of localized, unenslaved elections has been and is still in practice for years. The 150 years of jail time that the local officials in Clay County, Kentucky got after running their election scams for decades had nothing to do with federal officials or federal law. It was, in fact, the federal law that stopped that from happening.
Oh, I guarantee the solution's going to be, let me tell you what the solution's going to be. We have a system for y'all, and it's a button right here. I wouldn't need to recount and push that button again.
I'll tell you what the system will be when you come back.
All right. Here comes the system. We're going to have a system. That's what I'm afraid of. You guys still voting? Yeah, how about surviving? Keep breathing in and out. That's how we're going to win. We'll be right back.